So I'm playing Returnal. I'm about 20 hours in at this point. I was this close to this video being very different, and I'll explain in a minute. I just beat the third boss in the third biome. I have officially completed Act 1. A gorgeous game, a fun little, unique game so far. You know, think Doom Eternal plus Nier Automata plus Dark Souls on New Game Plus 12. Directed by Denis Villeneuve. Because there's a lot of projectiles coming at you, and it kind of throws you in an arena, in a room, and you're running around dodging them, shooting at people, and it's hard. This game's hard. It's a hard game. This game's hard as a rock. And it looks really good on PS5. The first biome is like this kind of dark night, spooky forest, and there's a lot of fluorescent fauna, so you have these glowing purple and teal lights, and the monsters are badass. And whenever people, like, envision aliens, like, aliens are not going to look how they look like in Mass Effect or in Star Wars. They're not going to be humanoid. They're going to be something entire. If aliens are true, if aliens actually exist, they're going to look like this. They're going to be just wildly different. Because otherwise, I mean, what's the damn point? But the soundtrack is really good. I've been humming the themes to myself. It's a gorgeous game. The first and second biomes are wildly different. The second biome opens up into this sandy place, and it's like red, and it's stark, and it's like right out of Blade Runner 2049. And how this game uses the DualSense controller is just something you're not going to be able to appreciate until you feel it for yourself. The vibration levels and the haptic feedback are so much better. You can feel it like moving from the top to the bottom of the handles. It feels like something's bouncing around, clicking inside the controller, like an alien sound, like the alien sound effects resonate through the controller. And the adaptive triggers are actually essential for the gameplay, because pulling down the left trigger halfway is just aiming, but pulling it down all the way is an alternate fire. So you break through that threshold, that barrier, to pull the trigger down all the way, and then you get a little rumble in it while you're charging up your weapon. It is very cool. It is wild. I did not expect to love the DualSense as much as I did. And after all these years of Nintendo gimmicky controller bullshit, this is the innovation that I'm liking to see, because it immerses you in the game so much better. And the game's got this concept of malignancy and malfunction, so there's a lot of pickups where if you pick them up, they give you a buff or a bonus, and they'll also give you a drawback. It's like you have to kind of pick and choose, and some of them are very clearly worth it, and some of them are very clearly not worth it. So this cute little alien parasite latches onto your arm, and it gives you a status effect like, oh, the Rougelikes last 1.5 seconds longer for you to pick up. That's the resource. It's like the money. Oh, but you cannot heal. Oh, okay. Well, tough decision. I'm gonna have to go no on that one. Hard pass. And there's malignant chests and Rougelike blocks that, like, infect your suit with a malfunction. Honestly, the malfunctions aren't as bad as the downsides from the parasites because they're easier to remove. They always have a way of getting rid of them. And if your suit malfunctions too much, you get a critical malfunction, which I assumed just killed you, but it actually just removes a random item in your inventory. So there's all kinds of pickups, and there's a little green health orbs that when they heal you, and if you're already at full health, they actually they go toward increasing your max health. And that's the core gameplay loop. You're running in a circle about the room, locking on, hitting all your different burst fire, alternate fire from all these various weapons, you know, dashing through these beam attacks, jumping in the air and slashing them with your little lightsaber. It is a very fun game. It is a very addictive, fun, unique game. It is also a roguelike. Now, before this game, I'll be honest, I had no idea what a roguelike was. I'm like, oh, it's like Binding of Isaac, right? That's like one of those little Flash Java games. Now, I was completely blindsided by this because, frankly, after seeing the first trailer, knowing it was a full AAA PS5 exclusive, I didn't want to know anymore. I avoided all of the other game marketing material to avoid spoilers. And had I known going in what roguelike means, I would never have picked up this game. When you die, you go back to the beginning. No, not of the encounter. No, not of the level. No, not to your last save. To the beginning of the game. The whole game. Like the start. Like literally the very start of the game. Every single time you die, you lose everything. You lose your entire progress. And they do marry that to the story and the lore, and I'll get to that in a minute, but let that sink in. Imagine if in Witcher, Skyrim, you know, Red Dead, some big sprawling open world game, and I know it's not a great comparison, but just roll with me. Imagine if upon death you got to keep one thing, like you picked a gun from your inventory, and then, every time you died, you lost all of your armor, all of your clothes, all of your hats, all of your abilities, all of your spells, all of your experience, all of your quest progress, all of your story progress, all of your money, and all of your everything, and restarted from the very beginning of the game. Does that sound like fun to you? Doesn't sound like fun to me. And I understand it's not an apt comparison. I'm being hyperbolic to emphasize a point. This game does not have a checkpoint system. Not a traditional one, anyway. Every time you die, you replay the whole game from the very beginning. You'll see the community of this game has been asking for a save system, not the checkpoint system that a traditional game would have, that, you know, that fundamental pillar of game design. No, they just want to be able to mark their point in a run, close the game out, do something else, and then come back to the same run. And then if they die in that run, they're okay with starting over from the beginning. And this game has had a disastrous launch. To be honest, I have not encountered a single bug or crash. My game's run perfectly. But apparently the game's been crashing for a lot of people. The DLC suit is giving people issues running through doors. And because there is no mark and save feature, the devs have literally been advocating that people leave their PS5 in rest mode, but they've patched the game twice since it's come out. And the PS5 does not have a quick resume like Xbox, so when the PS5 patches a game, it closes out the game because it automatically updates it. So if you had your PlayStation in rest mode to mark your spot, you just lost your run. So Housemarque, the dev team, was literally telling people to turn off the update auto feature on the PlayStation 5. If you think that's acceptable, you've lost it. If simply not losing your progress in a game requires you to meddle in the base settings of the PlayStation 5, that's ridiculous. And this is where I see a clear hypocrisy and double standard with the save system. It's like, okay, the same people who are saying, no, it's part of the game, it's part of the roguelike, you know, if there was a checkpoint system, that would ruin the whole game. The whole point is to start over from the beginning. Oh, okay, those same people who are totally okay with deleting hours of their own progress every time they die go ballistic when the game does it when they're not playing it. It's like, what's the difference? The game deletes your save when it's working as intended. Now the difference being, oh, you know, you died to a mistake. That was your fault. You know, failure on the player's part. You know, I shouldn't be punished for losing. Okay, well, the action is different, but the reasoning is the same. A respect for the player's time to make you feel like you did not waste progress. Now, if you're enjoying the game, you're spending time, you're not wasting it, but you'll be hard-pressed to find yourself not frustrated with Returnal and not feeling like it is actively designed to waste your time. And it's like, this entire roguelike genre is total and utter bullshit. Bro, Binding of Isaac is this dinky little free Flash Java game that you can beat in like 20 minutes. You cannot just take that and apply it to a $70 full-price AAA PlayStation 5 exclusive and expect it to work the same and just be okay. It's like, bro, no, I didn't expect a save feature in Tetris because it's fucking Tetris. This is not a genre. This is not a feature. This is literally a lack of feature. Imagine defining a genre by missing something. Imagine something else you expect from a game, something else fundamental to the enjoyment of a game to keep it up to date with modern times. I don't know, let's say a high resolution. We'll say even 1080p. Oh, you expect a game to run in high definition on your big fancy expensive $700 console that you had to buy off a scalper. You expect it to make your games look nice, right? What if there was an entire genre dedicated to making games actively look shitty? What if having a low resolution was the genre of the game? Oh, we're gonna pass it off as stylistic and retro, and not totally an excuse for us being lazy and being unable to afford anything because our development team is one neckbeard in his basement. Oh wait, pixel art, that's a thing, that exists, okay. Look, if this is weird to you, if this genre doesn't make sense, don't worry, you're the sane one. It's everybody else who's crazy. And that is the video you would have gotten had I decided to make this on Tuesday. But I will tell you, after defeating the second and third boss, it clicks. After seeing the cutscene at the end of Act 1, it clicks. I realized I've been playing the game wrong. Upon every death, I have been rushing through the first biome, I have been rushing past the tower, going straight to the second boss. I got stuck on the second boss forever. I was getting gang raped. This guy was bending me over and giving it to me hard, and I kept dying and dying and dying and dying and dying, and I got frustrated and angry, and I was swearing and cursing and throwing and breaking shit, because that's what I do when I'm angry. I'm a grown, mature, adult male. I throw things. And this time, I ran through the entire Biome 1, I picked up every single collectible, I got a bunch of upgrades, I got a good nice weapon, I did the challenge room, I got a giant health bar, and I went into Biome 2 and I did the same thing. I played it slowly, I played it methodically, and by the time I got to the second boss, I had 200% health, a heal, and an extra life. And I beat him on the first try. In that same life, on that same try, I also beat the entire third biome and the third boss. And upon seeing the cutscene after that, no spoilers, but I get it. I get it. I don't take back anything I said. I still think the lack of permanent progress is very, very poorly designed. I still think the game is overly unforgiving to the player on a purpose as a gimmick, and it does not necessarily help the game in all aspects. But the die, repeat, Groundhog Day cycle of going back to the ship at every time you die is essential to the story. Now, I get very upset when people use the lore to excuse a bad gameplay mechanic. Like when a basic game feature is missing, or something is intentionally frustrating or bad, and everybody just defends it because, oh, story reasons. Oh, it's like, okay, you could have just wrote a different story. That is not an excuse. However, with Returnal, upon completing the third boss and finishing Act 1, you get possibly the best moment in sci-fi history. And this is why gaming will always be the greatest art form, because you can understand the concept of the game, and you can go watch that cutscene on YouTube, and it'll be cool, but it is not going to hit you like somebody who literally experienced in the game what Celine experiences in the story. It is a truly magnificent thing they accomplished there. And that's a summary of my experience with Returnal so far. I'm about 20 hours in. At first I'm like, oh, this is fun, this is cool, this is pretty, this is unique. Oh, this is kind of hard. Oh, fuck, shit. Oh, that's why. Well, okay. And I'm telling you, it is unlike anything I've ever seen in book, TV, movie, or game. And that being said, I still wildly don't recommend the game. This is a game made for single young people who have unlimited time. This is, especially considering the PS5 rest mode problems right now, definitely don't buy the game now. Wait for the devs to patch in a save feature if they finally decide to. Funny enough, one of their patches actually completely bricked the game for some people, so you're doing tremendous job there, Housemark. I mean, hell, I just reviewed Demon's Souls and I went into like a 10-minute rant about how having me run 2 minutes to every boss was unforgivably bad. And look at me now, defending something much worse, much more punishing in Returnal. Seriously, imagine Dark Souls without bonfires. This is Dark Souls without bonfires. If that does not sound fun to you, do not get the game. If that sounds fun to you, still don't get the game. Unless you have absolutely unlimited time and you do not use your PlayStation 5 for anything else, because while you got the game open, you can't watch Netflix, you can't watch cuties, you can't watch that child porn, and I know everybody wants to get in on that. This game is literally holding your PlayStation 5 hostage if you want to pause mid-run. And you'd think there should at least be a checkpoint or a save at the beginning of each biome. Like, I get it, you want to be lengthy, you want to really get into that immersion of feeling like Celine, about feeling her same despair of doing the same thing over and over and over again and losing so much. After Act 1, there is a true, honest-to-God checkpoint, and if there wasn't, I probably would have put the game down. They've stretched it as far as they possibly could to get away with finally having a checkpoint. But even then, bro, there has got to be more permanent progress. The only permanent progress in this game are the data cubes, and the data cubes don't give you anything. All they do is they unlock additional artifacts to find in the level. That is ridiculous. And then weapon proficiency leveling up is the only other thing you get to keep. You like add points towards a total traits. And no, keeping the sword and the grapple hook do not count as permanent progress because those were things you clearly should have just started with anyway. How I would do it is, so you need 3 health resin to increase your max health. What I would do is I would make that 6 or 7, and then I would make it permanent. If you get a max health upgrade, that is permanent. That's what I would do anyway, but you know, what do I know? I'm not a game developer, I'm only a game player. Those who can't create critique, am I right?